Adam Silver recently did a press conference, and let me say first off, I always knew that the NBA was very intentional about broadening the game, going globally, things of that nature. I didn't really know how deep they were into it until Adam Silver really started speaking, and the more I heard his answer, I was like, wow, this is very much a plan to really coexist together as a team and not necessarily be, let's say, enemies because they have the same sport that they got with different leagues operating against each other. It's clear that his mindset is not that, and he even goes as far as to talk about how player development could be among both leagues, the Fiba and the NBA, working together to develop players simultaneously around each other, which was another very interesting comment. Then he talked about the past with David Stern when he was commissioner, and the previous commissioner of FIBA, I believe they go by commissioner as well. He said that that individual and David Stern came together to do various things, and he even said that they will do cross-media promotion possibly within the future. There's a lot that he said. I'm going to play y'all the clips, the best parts that I believe were the most significant, and then I'll come back and kind of react to it with some other thoughts that I have. Here we go.
And is there any more of a focus on what FIBA and what the NBA are hoping this, I don't want to say new agreement, but expansion of skills, best practices, et cetera, what that could look like?
How unique our partnership is between our league and our federation. Not to say we're in lockstep on everything, but I think in the case of other sports, there's a lot more tension, I think, between the federation and particular leagues. And I think it was important to communicate that we're committed as partners to growing the game globally. And there's a lot of projects we've worked on historically. I mean, we talked even a little bit about his predecessor, Boris Stankovic, and of course mine, David Stern, who worked together with Russ Granick on NBA players participating directly in the Olympics, and that historic agreement leading to, the NBA Dream Team in 1992 talked about basketball without borders, and the well over 100 players who've now participated in basketball without borders who've then come to play in the NBA. But then turning to Europe, there's agreement that where we are in terms of the level of interest in basketball in Europe is not commensurate with the commercial activities. That, level interest here, sort of commercial activities here in U.S. college sports, where because of NIL and collectives, you're now seeing some of the top European players leave their club systems and come into the college ecosystem. And I think that's an open issue, whether that's good or bad for the game, frankly. I think that we've seen something I've talked about before from a developmental standpoint. Some of our best players now happen to be international European players who came through that club academy-like development process and come to the NBA in a very mature from a playing standpoint. I think we've also heard from NBA coaches that in terms of U.S. player development, look, the vast majority of players are still coming from the U.S. because we look at stewards of the game, us and FIBA, what's going to be the best way long term to develop players. Looking at all these new media platforms, obviously the advent of streaming, not just as a platform, but as a destination for premium sports. How much interest there would be in us potentially doing something together.
Let me give y'all my thoughts on this now. I tried to play as much as possible. I got to jump in here, and I will definitely add in the context of certain things that he was saying that you didn't hear in its full entirety. Let's begin with him saying that he doesn't know if it's a good or bad thing that Euro players are coming from their club team to American colleges and then going to the NBA. He got to be saying that since it's not a good look for Euro stars to be leaving their club teams, or guys who are soon to be stars leaving to come to the NBA. That's where that whole competition still exists in some way or another. And so maybe he's just trying to frame it nicely. On the NBA's hand, however, I don't know how it could not be a good thing. When you got Adam Silver admitted in this very video that these Euro players have been coming into the NBA doing very well, he used the word mature. This segues into the context I was talking about, because he went on to say that the American players, sometimes they come in a little bit too young and they're not fully ready yet, which reminds me that you've had NBA players in the past, instead of going to college, they would go play a year overseas in a professional league, men's league, obviously, a lot of grown folks around them. Then they come back, get drafted, enter the NBA. Brandon Jennings did that, I believe. You could double check that for me. And if more American players out of high school did that, there's no way they could use the whole maturity perspective against them and say that, oh, the one and dones is not good for the game. And on this note, Kevin Garnett, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, these are players who not only came out of high school but became superstars. So the fact that there is some that may be a little bit immature or can't play and it's being held against the other individuals that can, I do think that's unfair. But they're probably going to say that most of these guys don't pan out to be that level of player, even if they are successful. Moving along, I want to also talk about the game, where it's going, right? If they're so focused on this global branding of basketball in the NBA, then all you got to do is look internationally to see what's happening. And it looks like that's what the NBA will follow suit or partner with, I guess. And that leads into the whole, the NBA is not playing as much defense anymore. It's more spacing, shooting. The physicality has been taken out. Why? They're following more of a EuroLeague style of game. It's not Americanized anymore, or at least not as much as it used to be. That's the debate that needs to be had. If it's a good thing or a bad thing, that's the direction that the NBA is going into. One final thought, since we're talking about the EuroLeague, I did find it interesting that he said Euro interest in itself when it comes to basketball is very high, but the business side of it is not matching the same. I take that as Adam Silver saying there's a lot of money that can be made here, and it's not going to be made right away. This is why we're doing this partnership, possibly some media promotion, cross deals with each other. We're going to market this game and get it even more out there because the passion is already there, which means the money could come if people love what they're already seeing. We just got to find a way to actually make it lucrative and profitable. And that's all I really got for y'all. Y'all let me know what you think about this Adam Silver press conference. Do you like the direction the NBA is going in? Why or why not? Hit me up in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. Salute for listening. Peace.